In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, talking about our area of tropical interest that we're watching for potential development in. We're going to be talking about that alongside the upcoming pattern as a whole. So let's dive into things. And first things first, we are taking a look at this tropical disturbance, tropical area of storms. And as you can see, it is really tucked close now to the Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida panhandle, coastlines. And we talked about it over the past few days, but a southern pass through the expected potential development zone would have led towards the greatest chance of development. And this one has actually taken the northernmost expected potential track and kind of hugged the Gulf Coast along the way, and that has led towards very little, if any, development to take place. At this point, it is not impossible for this thing to develop, but the odds are about as low as they could be at this stage. It is very close to just being over southern Louisiana. There's a lot of land interaction going on right now, and I think we dodged a pretty big bullet with this one. It's tough to say for sure, but this is incredibly good news. We could see from the satellite imagery before it goes dark that there was a pretty large billowing area of thunderstorms there just to the east of New Orleans. However, it obviously is not looking very, very tropical as far as being a tropical storm or anything certainly super developed. So could this one still become a tropical depression? Yes. Could this one become a tropical storm? Technically, yes, but the odds of all of these things are drastically falling, in my opinion. Which, interestingly enough, we still sit at a 40% chance of development, both over the next 2 days and 7 days. Of course, we know that any development is pretty much going to take place here over the next 24 to maybe 48 hours, but it should happen in the next little bit here if it's going to happen at all. So let's switch over to the radar and kind of see what's going on, not only for this area, but around the nation. Now, as we take a look at the whole United States, we can see there is a few interesting areas of storms to discuss. We'll start out here in the more southwestern area, and we can see some monsoon activity taking place for a lot of areas, also just showers in others. As far west as some of like the Sierra Nevada area, we can see some showers and perhaps thunderstorms happening in there. Also central and northeastern Nevada seeing some precipitation, which is interesting in and of itself. Again, monsoon activity down here for Arizona, New Mexico, even extending up into Colorado and Utah. We do have some scattered thunderstorms off to the east here, so let's go ahead and move this. And as we can see, there is some isolated thunderstorm activity here for portions of eastern New Mexico, northern Texas, areas in Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri. Definitely worth noting, but the more interesting stuff is to our north, which we're going to go ahead and take a look at here. And things are a lot more dynamic up here in the north. Clearly a bit of a low pressure system here over eastern Wisconsin, and we can see more of a cold front type look taking place here, bringing a line of pretty intense thunderstorms and also heavier showers in different spots. And this is extending for states like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan here. We are seeing a far stretching area dealing with these showers and thunderstorms. Even a heavier one down here in Kansas that you could probably see on screen here. It's a little bit cut off from the rest of the system. It's also worth noting that we do clearly have a warm front up here to the north, extending up towards the UP of Michigan and all the way into Ontario. So there is some showery activity in there, probably some thunderstorms, but typically we expect more thunderstorm activity along a cold front and more just typical showers along a warm front. And that's not always true, but that is a rule of thumb that we typically use. Looking off to the east of this, we do see some showers and thunderstorms more scattered in nature that are around for many different states like Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC, Delaware, New Jersey, and even up into New York. So many different states here dealing with some of these thunderstorms out ahead of that cold front. So these areas have already seen a ton of precipitation, more on the way. So yes, there is potential flooding with that, which has been a very common trend this month so far as a whole. Very interesting. Let's move to the south here and take a look at basically our tropical system, but also just the state of Florida and surrounding states, because we do see some thunderstorms outside of where our tropical system is at, mostly for Florida, southern Georgia, southern Alabama, areas of Mississippi as well, dealing with some isolated and scattered thunderstorms. We're going to zoom into this tropical system here, and we can see, as I just put this on a loop, which I should have been doing the whole time, we do see some heavier precipitation moving into the New Orleans area. Also, Gulfport, Pensacola just had a heavier thunderstorm roll through. That's obviously in Florida. Mobile, Alabama has been seeing some heavier stuff hitting. So these areas are getting hammered with some heavier pockets of precipitation. Again, at this stage, development is needing to happen very quickly here within the next few hours to maybe overnight, because that window of potential development is going to close after that point. So we will watch this closely. I think that this is going to be mostly a heavier rain event with some gusty winds, and definitely didn't reach its full potential, which is incredible news. So let's go ahead and move into some modeled guidance. And as we just take a look here at our European model, just for the upcoming pattern as a whole, I want to move us towards tomorrow because we've kind of already gone over what's happening today. And for Thursday on the 17th here, we see this low pressure system moves from kind of the Great Lakes area up into southeastern Canada there, and this cold front is still extending down for a lot of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, so some thunderstorms might still be associated with that area, where we obviously have a cold front. Again, more thunderstorms typically happen along those types of lines. We do see our tropical system still bringing rainfall for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle as well. Mostly this system is over land by this point though, so again, it's going to hinder chances of development. Florida still has some heavier thunderstorms ongoing, and we still see some monsoon activity there for the Four Corner states, unfortunately, because they've already seen a ton of precipitation and they don't really need more, but they could be seeing it. Let's take this all the way towards Friday on the 18th, and what we're seeing is continued precipitation around for the Rockies in general, but again, more focused on those Four Corner states. Some showers and thunderstorms moving through the Midwest area. And then for overall the southeast corner of the nation, we are seeing these thunderstorms and showers abundant throughout many different regions here in many different states. Looking at Saturday here on the 19th, a lot of this activity just spreading eastward as a whole. We're seeing most of the eastern states seeing a chance of thunderstorms for Saturday the 19th here, and still the Four Corner states and some other surrounding states dealing with continued heavier rainfall. Looking towards Sunday on the 20th here, we see that a moderate low is moving offshore of Maine. Maybe a little bit of a dragging cold front here that could be bringing a little bit more enhanced thunderstorms. Obviously, I don't mean an enhanced risk like the Storm Prediction Center's enhanced risk. What I mean is it's just an elevated chance of thunderstorms in general. So we're seeing those a little bit more widespread. Still some activity here for the central states, dying down a little bit, thankfully, by Sunday the 20th. Monday on the 21st, it's definitely died down for most of the Four Corner states, so getting a little bit of a breather there. Most of the activity is actually centered around further north areas like Montana, Idaho. The upper Midwest is still seeing quite a bit of precipitation here, and the southeast corner. So the areas that have been seeing a lot of precipitation continue to see it. As we move towards Tuesday here on the 22nd, again, southeast, Great Lakes going to be some areas to watch. Wednesday on the 23rd, same thing. I mean, we're getting a little smaller with the areas dealing with these thunderstorms and showers. So a little less active as a whole. Thursday on the 24th, it's really the same thing. I'd say the only difference is we have this low south of the Hudson Bay and maybe another dragging cold front that's going to try to move through here. More of like a swinging cold front here as it's swinging from north to south. So again, along that line, expect worse thunderstorms than the ones that you're just seeing pop up everywhere. And more consistent rainfall. As we move towards Friday here on the 25th, we see this low, similar to the previous one, is in eastern Canada, a dragging cold front moving through, bringing precipitation, maybe even as far west as the plains still, so through the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, all of these areas dealing with some interesting thunderstorms and probably at least somewhat associated with a bit of a frontal boundary there as well. The jet stream is a little interesting here, more like a trough in the east. We see some ridging and some troughing going on, but it is minor, so the temperatures won't be super impacted by this probably, but just keep that in mind that we are seeing more swinging action with that jet stream, which can tend to bring more volatile weather. Not every time, but that could be a byproduct kind of this type of pattern. We do see isolated and scattered thunderstorms throughout the deeper south areas ongoing for Friday the 25th as well. Saturday on the 26th, as we're kind of moving into the extended range, so take it with a grain of salt. We still see these clusters of thunderstorms around, but still nothing in comparison to what we saw earlier on in the pattern. So hopefully this is a sign that we're kind of just slowing down precipitation-wise overall, because the flooding nationwide has been absolutely insane this month and just devastating to watch, and it really just needs to slow down. This would be obviously warmly welcomed. Sunday on the 27th, I mean, we got some in the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic, but again, just a little quieter overall. It's not until like Monday the 28th timeframe where we start to see a little bit more of this activity going again for the Rockies and Four Corner states. So we will be sort of watching that again for the flooding. Hopefully the time between the heavier rainfall we're expecting soon and then the break in between and then this popping back up, hopefully it's enough for some of this water to regress out of this area and be more equipped to handle rainfall again. That's the most we can hope for, really. Or the least we should hope for, I should say. We do see thunderstorms throughout the deeper south and southeast, kind of isolated here by the state as well. And as we kind of progress through the pattern, we just keep seeing activity in the upper Midwest and deeper southeast. That seems to be a trend here. So let's take a look at the total precipitation. The heavier stuff and overall the most precipitation, it's kind of for this area here in the northern plains, upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley region. We do see quite a bit in some of the northeast as well, and also for quite a bit of the deeper south here. We also see plenty of it for Colorado, New Mexico in particular, but some regions of Arizona as well, seeing a lot. So let's take a look at the anomalies real quickly. And really, regardless of the precipitation that we're seeing, it's pretty isolated where we're seeing the above average amounts of precipitation, and there's plenty of areas seeing below average as well. So it's going to be very hit or miss here. Love to see Texas in the below average precipitation. That is incredible news. We do see above average where this tropical area of interest is located there. So for areas in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, we're definitely seeing a lot of precipitation. But the largest, most widespread area with overall above average precipitation is that area I pointed out in the beginning. Northern Plains, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, really going to be the area to watch for pretty far above average precipitation here. Now, with all that being said, be sure to subscribe. We upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.